Hello friends, I'm Rocky Outcrop. This is Bitcoin Technical Analysis, and we're going to do a quick speed run through Ethereum, Matic, and Tezos and Cardano in this little clip that I'm making. I'm really big and blurry at the minute, but don't worry about me. I'm shrinking myself on down. There's a good couple of questions that come in. This is filmed during a live show, so be sure to join me for one of them. What we're going to be talking about, and this is an opportunity to hit the like button during this intro clip, by the way, folks, so don't let me stop you. So what we're going to be talking about is a possible 12-hour golden pocket test, right? And the RSI bullish divergence that somebody's suggesting could be there. And then, of course, we'll crack on with the other cryptos that we'll be looking at. Right, so first off, we're going to take a look at whether or not this is a golden pocket. Presumably it means from this previous high over here. As you can see, as it happens, I have another Fibonacci drawn on here. This is from the market highs down to the most recent lows down there when we came down to 28,600 on the Bitstamp chart just here. Bitcoin 12-hour versus the USD, and we're above the 236, having tested it a couple of times and now finally broken above it. I want to see in terms of this right now, right here, right now, pivot of 35,000 or indeed 34,700 or so, really kind of being defended across closures, right? But anyway, in terms of this Fibonacci that Minerem, shout out to you, buddy, thanks for asking me to do this, looking between that high down to that low, we can see that we're actually wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, right in that area. Very good point, my friend. So what would you expect to happen here if you can, challenge yourself to use that word? Well, if we're actually able to see same prices, throughout the day here, looking over towards 7 hours and 45 minutes till the end of the day, that would be really fantastic, and it would of course lock in the prices above our previous high here, which is really what we want to see first off, with Bitcoin at 35,593. so we're talking 35,600 or so for the end of the day prices would be jolly good, having already come up here, and that would end up looking like a bit of a wick in that area. Then of course defending the 34,500 region, if we are called upon to do so, would be of course quite bullish, giving us that nice higher low, perhaps in terms of it'd be very much a higher low, of course, because we really could see the prices drop down to 33,000. Let's be very aware of that, and that would be your best buy price currently looking at the charts. But anyway, if we were to then see the prices come down here, defend that and push up the way, fan dabby dozy. But there was also a question mark about divergence. Okay, so the RSI has some bullish divergence on it. I'm looking down here and I'm seeing there's a low and then not quite a lower low at these 2 points, so that is not bullish divergence just between there. Looking back at this low to the next low up the way here, we can see that the RSI actually did come lower as well, so there's no bullish divergence between these 2 points. I'll just draw them in so it's clearer for you. Bish, bash, bosh, 1, 2, not quite. Now if you were looking at this and asking about it and saying, oh well, I use the wicks for divergence, you can see that the wicks also didn't close lower and the bodies closed higher. But if we were to translate over towards the 4 hour time frame, keeping that green line on there, we can actually see that between these two lows here, that there actually indeed was bullish divergence. So perhaps that is what the questionnaire was asking about. That shot us up towards the 618 golden pocket retrace. Woohoo, well done if you were looking at that TA yourself in order to trade this. Of course, that is where the profit taking would be coming in at, and we can see that there's a little red candle just there showing us the way so far with regards to that obviously being the case. Well done to you if you traded that. We are looking at this, of course, and saying that there's profit taking targets up above. I'm going to be just quickly, briefly here to say that 38 up to 42 is the liquidity zone up above that you need to be bashing up above. Right now we're doing okay, but we really need to keep a keen eye out for that. Along the way, 38k is probably your next profit taking target. I'm not a financial advisor, none of this is financial advice. So at this point we were asked if we could take a speed run through Ethereum. I'll just use the T suffix on there and I'll do all of these on the Binance exchange. Thank you again as well for sticking with me. If you haven't lit like already on this particular clip, I would really appreciate it. As you can see, bulls at the minute, bullas are going to be looking at this chart and asking, do we have a wedge of some sort here, looking at these lows coming in and saying, well, maybe we do in this region here, for instance. Let's just ignore that higher up zone for now and kind of talk about this and say, well, have we broken out of it? Or is that just kind of, hopium? Instead, what we need to kind of be more paying attention to is really this downward sloping trend line in terms of our body closures, and we can let the top line take care of itself. Coming in here at previous market areas of support and resistance, popping in then some horizontal lines in order to actually do this technical analysis speedrun style, then we can see the clear areas of support really for us, or at least not going to give me another one. Right, somewhere in there. We've got these clear areas up above where we can see these horizontal supports and resistances. If I also just combine that there in terms of just kind of saying, well, how does that actually line up with this Fibonacci retracement? You can see we've got the 236 coming at this point. These areas showing us the oscillations that have operated all in it around about the 50%, the 382, and then obviously where the 236 currently resides, but that's as a result of this most lowest of pullbacks. So what we can see as well is 618 golden pocket that comes in at $3,000. That's a nice round number, and I would be looking up towards that round number, in fact, and saying that would be a very big area to be breaking up above. That should probably be there, in fact, instead. Right now, where are we? Well, we're actually at this resistance zone first off, and we can see that the 236 is above our head as well. And the DMI is showing us that we do have a good sort of strength of trend to be buying into, but we need to get that actual follow through in order to get up there. I'm looking for prices in terms of Ethereum to really recapture the sort of, or test sort of at some point 2,400, but actually sustain prices above 2,200 here for us along it's a nice round number for one thing, but also it's where they're in and around about that 236, and of course those previous highs, that platform, the last diving board that we were on before the prices of course dropped down towards this bullishly divergent low that we have on the go. So this is obviously looking fairly decent at the minute. This is a profit taking zone, and if we also combine that with the question from the Bitcoin chart, you'll not be surprised to see, I'm saying that predictively, but yes, you'll not be surprised to see that of course at that area where that 236 is, from the broader down to the broader high down to the low that we've just had, lines up perfectly with that 618, giving you a nice inflection point in the markets. Will we see a story this is as simple as that continue with the charts when we look to other ones? We can see here in the 4-hour time frame breaking up into the bullish control zone, by the way. 24-hour time frame bounce off the bearish control zone, testing the neutral line. 12-hour time frame, same as 12-hour time frame as well, above that neutral area, taking out market structure areas in terms of the RSI, sorry, our previous highs, you know, and putting in a nice movement towards the top side. That's already anchored up above, so we've done pretty good on that front. Yeah, right, so the other guys that you have to take a look at were of course Matic, which is coming up right here right now, USDT, so we'll take a look at it on the Binance charts as well. This something clearly I've looked at recently. I can see I've got a bunch of drawings on there, just identifying more or less, I guess, a couple of numbers. 174 was a target perhaps for the top side at some point here. We had lows, these lows, body lows, any lower? No, they're not. Let's make this a little bit quicker for me, a little bit easier. Pop on the these two moving averages. 12-hour time frame shows us that we're being just at that. We're just at that 200 simple period moving average. Let me just check the settings on these moving averages here to make sure. So yeah, 200, and I'm going to pop this one to 50 instead of 10, and above us to 50 simple. Yeah, kind of showing us where we really need to break above. Prices above 130, closures above 130, really good. Coming up here where we are right now, pretty decent bit of the old divergence though. If no, it's not really. But if we close where we are right now and then continue to go down, there's hidden bearish divergence. Want to see the prices therefore take out that 130 price zone. Indeed, absolutely confirm above it and move towards the top side. Then we can go in for perhaps a retracement area. Let's look at where the 618 is. Is that coming in at 174? So yeah, anywhere between 165 and 177, I suppose, would be your take profit target on that. Should we manage to see moving up above that area, being aware that yes, of course, with 174 being broken, we're breaking past this previous high just here. That's going to be really, really crucial for us if we're actually going to try and attempt to start to look like we're trending towards the top side. Otherwise, failure to do so is very much bearish, and we're looking at coming back down towards these areas. 12-hour time frame showing us a similar sort of story with regards to being in around the neutral line and the bullish control zone. Not quite as good looking as the Ethereum chart there in terms of where it's achieved. The 1-hour time frame coming right up towards the top side, like we see, without divergence, looking pretty good. Getting a golden cross coming up on the, I can see actually, I know that this is extremely zoomed out on your charts, so I apologize for that, but we're getting it. We're coming up towards a golden cross here on the 1-hour time frame, right? I was just looking at the lines, didn't really care about the price action in terms of that point I was making there. So that's good to see. We would probably retest that though, so looking for better entries coming in at, yeah, perhaps down towards that 110, 115 area. If we can sustain prices above 118 at the minute, that's pretty good, but I'm not super confident and happy about this until of course we're above that 130 area, like I just said earlier on. Final one was oh no, there's two more. Tezos. Well, Tezos will be pretty easy because I've done that more recently. So looking here at Tezos, great, we've had that cross. Will we come back down and retest it on this 1 hour time frame? It's not the most important thing in the world. 4 hour time frame showing us that, of course, we've got closures up above that. That's taken out that area. Excellent, looking very good. 292, brilliant, coming back up towards the $3 zone. Sustaining prices of the 50 simple moving average there, very much important to us. And then, of course, the target up above 318 is coming in at that 200 simple moving average on the 4 hour time frame. I really am knowing from sort of previously talking about this that it's not going to be good until we're above all the threes, 333, 33, 33 at the very least. But we're talking about that being an area where you could see us getting a bounce at. Well, if we did it soon enough, we'd be able to kick out that area, these previous highs at $3. Nice round number as well, so that would be good. But we're a little bit extended in terms of this price movement so far. At some point, we will get a retracement. It could go as high as the 318 area before pulling back to where it is now. We've just had a cross there on the DMI. It's not got strength of trend in on it quite yet. Yeah, looking to see, can we just, in terms of answering these questions for us, can we actually sustain prices above the moving average on the RSI? If not, do we get a bounce on the neutral line? If not, then of course we're looking down towards, coming down towards the probably 260, 270 or 280 on this one. 260, yeah, we'd come down to 260 on this one. If we're not able to do that, that might all happen at once. So that would be your best buy price overall. We're obviously, again, the same story applies with regards to how far we've come. Are we aiming then at being able to sustain price action above the 280s area? That's where we are, in fact. And can we sustain price action above the 280s area to get this real strong push up towards the top side? You know, it's not like screaming that it's going to happen, but it's definitely a possibility. I would prefer to be buying it at this stage at 260. However, we've seen the cross over here at that point there as well. That's closer to 270. In terms of the 15-minute time frame, by the way, and how we've come up so far, yeah, a little bit of the old bearish divergence at the top there. Can we sustain it above the 618? Yeah, so right now with this being in chop on the DMI as well, just here, yeah, so a pullback at this stage would be easy to manage. These are your levels, you know, 289 down to 284. If we push past 284, then we could easily be going down towards the 268 area. That's what I would kind of really expect, where you get a better buy price. Last significant low here as well, you'd probably push down and get a bit of sustained price action below that VWAP there on the daily time frame. However, we're above it at the minute. Everything's very good, and sustaining price action above these lines is kind of, you know, to be in inverted commas expected. In that case, you know, we would be able to defend the 618 golden zone, and the 280s is a decent entry on that one. Again aiming up towards 318, and then thereafter we're looking up. Actually, higher target on Tezos is 450, but I'll not bother explaining why right now. And then the last one is Cardano USDT, and that'll actually take care of the entire technical analysis for cryptocurrency section for today, unless we get a specific request coming in from somebody in a way that makes it so it makes sense for us to do so. 15-minute time frame on this one, with this high that just came in higher than that previous high. Is this going to actually end up being divergent on that 4 hour time frame as we look up towards these highs? No, it hasn't. It hasn't turned out like that. It's done enough. The 1 hour time frame equally done enough. Excellent. But the pullback that's happening at the minute is somewhat to be expected. Are we going for a 382 on this one? I wonder. I would expect, I suppose, you know, to challenge at some point in around about where the 236 is coming at. It's going to be a case of kind of moving it up as I go along, I suppose. But that currently comes in at around about sort of 136. Would we see that price happen, and can it be defended, or would it go on down the way? Again, you know, we've got the 50 simple having crossed over here without having ever been tested on the 1 hour time frame. But I'm not really looking so precisely at that 1 hour time frame for retest of that cross necessarily at any given particular moment in time. Right now, just pushing up here, just managing to do enough in terms of price action to have not kind of put in some hidden bearish divergence, I guess. It's not super strong. That previous move over there was obviously not great. So yeah, what do I think about this one? Well, I think that I'm going to have to look at it in terms of the 24 hour time frame real quick here, and disregard, of course, we came well, no, let's just see. That's the same movement. That's the same one. Yeah, great. Yeah, it's great. We've come up to a profit-taking area. The 382 is so often being hit at the minute. I expecting a pullback from this point is fair enough. It has been the norm. However, pushing on at this point up towards 157 would be the profit-taking area to be looking to at the minute. It gets a little bit greedy to ask for a golden pocket retrace without having had any inflection along the way at all. At this moment in time, if you're not in a position, I'm not a financial advisor on this financial advice, you could look as low as that sort of 120s area to get a retest of this 236. We've done it a couple of times so far. Smaller term timeframes could suggest that we only get in at the sort of 130 area, but then again, it depends on what sort of momentum we get towards the top side. I'm sure as well, you could probably as well just draw this in and say that there's a wedge here. So it depends how you want to play this. At the minute, I'm kind of feeling that there's that the risk is on at the minute quite severely. The edge at the minute is a little bit thin, you could take it, but your stop loss is likely to drive you down to where a better lower risk entry would be on it if you're looking at this in the terms of the short-term time frames. However, you know, if we did push past the 240s area, you might be on for a momentum play up towards 58 and 178. Or 174. Great, cool, excellent. Thanks, by the way, for everybody for tuning in. That was around the markets look at the crypto world. We're seeing, again, just cross down the way there in the ADX. You know, there's a strength of trend is there for us to actually do something here and move up towards those higher targets. It is decent. It's better than it has been for a while. The last time it looked so good as this was really after this previous V-shaped recovery. You can see that equally as well, we had a platform drop down, didn't take out the 886 of a Fibonacci retracement between that point and the platform. I'll just demonstrate that real quick. You can see that we didn't actually take out the 886, just coming in there at exactly where those highs are as it happens. So at the minute, you know, we're looking at it along the same lines and saying that if it does drop off from right here, then where you are dropping off from, bang, right on that 886. So in terms of the market structure and what we're seeing here, and have seen so many times, by the way, is that this is a profit-taking target for a few people for quite a few reasons, and also a decent enough pivot in the market to be worth a momentum play if we are actually able to break it and sustain price action towards the top side. That's obviously fairly complicated technical analysis, but really not if you're not. Right, cool, great, excellent, ciao.